The next thing I want to talk about, at least briefly, is Google Stadia itself, and then kind of elaborate on that a little bit. Okay, if
Okay.
that's okay with you.
Sure.
Um, so I mentioned that tweet right in our last topic about Google Stadia trending because of his tweets and how much traction they got for the complete wrong reason,
Yeah.
obviously. Um, Google Stadia, first of all, we know was a complete mess, right? It is not good. Its user base is low. It's very low. People are not talking about it. People don't care about Google Stadia. Google Stadia is bad. It was a bad idea.
It's a piece of shit. The graphics are fucking terrible.
We talked about how it was a bad idea, and I think we both share that similar opinion,
And there's other
right?
platforms that are already well established that are doing the exact same thing.
Right.
Of course!
Right. And I really think Google Stadia was always meant to fail, right? You're coming into a saturated marketplace as far as like actual, what do you want to call it? Hardware, software, whatever it is, right? You're coming into a saturated marketplace where a lot of different people already have really good footholds in there. Okay. And you're coming in to offer the exact same thing, basically. Now, what's cool about Stadia is you can stream, right? You can play it in the browser, right? You can
That is
stream it from
cool.
anywhere.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Um, but also your games, you don't have the games. What did they launch with?
And they got
Destiny 2?
games. They
Google
had
Stadia does not have any games.
they had the Assassin's Creed game at the time.
Which one?
Odyssey or Origins, whatever one came out with that time frame.
Yeah. I'm trying to see.
Because that was
How
the
many
game people
games?
beta tested in the browser, was Assassin's Creed.
The original Assassin's Creed?
No, fucking Origins or
Oh.
Odyssey.
Oh.
Whichever one of those two came out.
All right. Well, listen, the list of Google Stadia games is not that long. Still. Anyway, not what I'm trying to talk about. What I more so wanted to talk about is this kind of what I would call almost like a trend within the tech industry of these companies who are not traditionally involved in gaming, particularly hardware or producing games or creating a platform for games,
Mm-hmm.
starting to dip their toes in and try to get involved with gaming, obviously because it's a profitable industry. Okay.
Yep.
Um, and how the fact that it's a really bad idea for these companies to do this, to try to get their feet wet, right?
Yep.
When they're inevitably going to fail.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's I think Amazon just launched or unveiled their new game streaming service.
Yeah, what's it called?
It's called Amazon is not good.
Right.
No, I don't know what it's called. It's called fucking Amazon Dreams or Amazon. Here, I'll do it right now.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. But regardless, it's pretty bad. And here's to me why it's a really big issue.
Luna.
Right. Luna. You're right. Right. There has been a lot of companies, right, that have gotten involved with gaming and then have really kind of pulled out, right? Or not invested the way that they should have. Okay.
Yep.
You look at Google Stadia failing. Amazon Luna is going to fail. Okay. Facebook gaming is going to fail. Okay. They're trying to come into a marketplace and gain a foothold where there's no need for them to be there. You're not offering anything new and you don't need to be there. And you're not offering anything good for the developers. Okay. And straight from the developer's mouth, this is a article I'm referring to on a website called Thurrott, which is a tech news analyst research website. Okay. And they talk about a report from Business Insider, right? On specifically, they said that they talked to game developers and publishers who said there are two main reasons that their games aren't on Stadia, right? Because we know this, it's a fact that Google Stadia has had an issue with getting people to put games onto their platform. Okay. And to me, I always just thought, well, it's probably because it's just bad or there's some proprietary stuff or it's really hard to publish it on there or optimize it or whatever the fuck it is. But some developers actually came out in this report from Business Insider that basically Google, specifically related to Stadia, Google didn't offer them enough money to publish the games, and they don't trust the company to stick with gaming in the long term.
So it's like when someone from the outside goes in your industry and you're like, I don't trust that you're going to be here in 10 years. Why should I dedicate myself to you?
Right. Exactly. Because those studios have to localize the game for it, for that platform. They have to test it. They have to go through approval, right? And Google would have had to license that game to be on their platform, right? To distribute it.
Yeah.
Okay. And they said that Google didn't offer them enough money, which is so interesting
To me,
since
that,
they're,
yeah, to me, that says that Google's not dedicated enough to
yeah,
get the
they're
games.
probably concerned. They probably put out Stadia. They're like, we're gonna go all in on this, and then when they realize people ain't buying it, you're like, oh, well, maybe not. Do you know? Does Google Stadia have a subscription fee?
So they did. I don't know if they do anymore. Things have changed drastically with Stadia in the last couple of months.
Hmm.
Um, I do know it was a subscription based thing at first. But I've heard a lot of people saying like, "Oh, I tried it out recently and Stadia is great." So I honestly I have no idea.
Hmm.
Here, let me look it up while you.
Um, yeah. So basically, developers are not trusting in Stadia. I think you're gonna have something similar with Amazon Luna. I mean, maybe not. Maybe Amazon will get it right. They've been involved in Twitch for a while. Maybe they have some people in there that kind of know what they're doing. Um, And then there is something that kind of plays into our next topic, but I won't transition yet until we're done. Uh, but in this continued interview with Business Insider, they talked also specifically about Xbox and xCloud and Game Pass. And basically, developers were like, Microsoft has long established relationships with the gaming industry. They clearly have the infrastructure and they understand the market. Google does not. And I think that's a great, great point.
That is a good point.
X, Xbox has a history of games, publishing games, hardware with games, um, creating infrastructure for games, and knowing what they're doing. Where Google is more so this big tech company where they're like, "Ooh, look at this shiny gaming industry I can get involved in. Let me go get involved in this and see if I can make some money on it."
Yeah.
Like,
Let me chime in. So Stadia,
yep.
I believe, is a free platform if you buy the games. It's a $10 a month subscription if you want to sign up for Stadia Pro, which is their platform where it's basically like Game Pass, where you could stream, or it's like Game Pass in that it's a full library of games you could play for free if you pay. Um, but in this case, there's no downloads at all. You stream the games, unlike Game Pass where you would download them. Um, However, you can stream the games with Game Pass if you have the app and you use the xCloud thing they have going on. So, and the games that they're advertising here, which by the way, on the website where you would buy the Stadia, they advertise everything except the games. They advertise the controller, the Chromecast, everything. The pro membership thing is not there, and neither is the games. But when they do finally talk about the games on the website, the games that they have advertised here are Hitman 1, Orcs Must Die 3, Destiny 2 The Collection, Super Bomberman R Online, Hello Neighbor, and PUBG.
Um, you mentioned Orcs, which I don't actually even know what that game is.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it has a multiplayer component because I saw somebody post on Twitter in response. I think it was actually to Hutchinson's things from our last story, about that it took his son, this Google Stadia user's son. No, it was on a Google Stadia forum when I was doing research for this topic, and he said his son had to wait almost an hour to get into a lobby for something to do with orcs because the player base is so low, and then he just gave up because his kid didn't want to wait anymore, so he pulled out his iPad and played something on there instead or whatever. So obviously that's another impact on the ecosystem, right? Is that you look at Xbox, you look at PlayStation, you look at Nintendo, you look at PC, Steam. They have huge player bases.
Yeah.
That are established, have been here for a very long time. You cannot come in, right, and try to get a slice of the market for something that's been established and has great, healthy competition within it already, right? And think that you're going to have any kind of impact or think that it's going to work out for you financially.
Yeah.
And then when you also pair with that, not supporting creators, right, and giving them incentives to publish on your platform is going to die.
Now, let me ask you this. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite here. So let's talk about what's the difference between Google Stadia coming in and disrupting this ecosystem here versus another streaming platform or video platform coming in and doing that and interrupting YouTube and Twitch. What, in your opinion, is the big difference there?
Google is a massive company. They have the capital from other sources to fund that venture, right?
Yeah.
To the point where it would be profitable for them, or if it's not, they're probably going to stop it. The massive companies that exist that would probably be beneficial to doing something on the streaming side or social side with YouTube, Twitch, whatever it is, already own those platforms.
Okay. I just wanted to play devil's advocate. I knew I feel the same way as you, so I just wanted to make sure that was established.
It's much easier for an Amazon, right, to identify a market or a new venue and be like, ooh, shiny. I'm going to spend a lot of money to go in there because they already have the capital. Versus a startup, say, or a smaller company, right, who are like, ooh, I want to do something good for the people that are already using these other platforms, right?
Yep.
Let me start something. They don't have the capital. They don't have the finance. Nor will they get it. Nor will they be able to even compete at a level that would get them notoriety, right?
Gotcha. So with
that's my
all of
opinion.
with all this being said, are you excited for Walmart's streaming service for games?
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, they're working on it. So get ready for that because that's coming.
How do these companies think that these things are going to work for them?
It's weird, man. It's weird. And I think it has something to do with like in store with Walmart. Like they would have little kiosks where you'd be able to like play the games too. Get rid
I
of
don't even know
space.
anything about that, nor am I a business expert, but I'm already going to tell you that's going to fail miserably.
Here, you know what? I have to look it up now because there might have been some developments. It's been a very long time since I last heard. So let me just see.
Okay.
Walmart game streaming.
It sounds like such an abysmal fucking idea. I can't even believe it. Walmart. Although, I mean, they do have the capital because the Walton family or whatever, whoever owns Walmart, are like the wealthiest fucking family in the entire world or something like that, or the second wealthiest.
So here it is. Walmart is reportedly looking into launching its own cloud gaming service. All of the reports are from March of 2019. So apparently they were shopping around with different developers and publishers and saying to them like, "Hey, how would you guys feel if we did this?" So yeah. Walmart.
It has to start and stop with the developers of the games. And if you don't get people on your platform and don't give them incentive to publish on there, or give gamers an incentive to use your platform, then you're going to fail.
It also looks like, yep, it's going to be called Liquid Sky. There's been a little bit more
like liquid shit out of my ass. Hello, my fellow human being. Thanks for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. Do you know that it's actually part of a larger podcast called Hapticast? Check it out by clicking here.